After the whistle starts in Mechanicsburg, where the Bishop Guilfoyle Marauders seized momentum in the third quarter to defeat the Port Allegheny Gators and clinch their 5th state championship in just 10 years. Hello and welcome back to After the Whistle. I'm Brian Portney, and our crews have been walking through a winter wonderland all week to bring you high school winter sports. We'll take a look at boys and girls basketball and wrestling.
And I'm Cassie Vaselis. We'll bring you all that and more. Plus, we'll see the conclusion of high school football state championships and a preview of Penn State's Big Ten championship matchup this weekend. All that and more are coming up on After the Whistle. The Class Single A state championship saw Bishop Guilfoyle out of District 6 face off against Port Allegheny out of District 9. The match is the Marauders' 6th state championship appearance, while for the Gators, it is their first trip to the state championship. Here we see the Bishop Guilfoyle band getting ready for kickoff as we jump into action on Port Allegheny's first possession. Aiden Bliss fumbles the football and it was recovered by the Marauders' Chase Kissel. Now we're going to go later in the first quarter. It's Torrin Consiglio taking the direct snap, breaking tackles, and scoring to put BG up early, 7-0. And now we're going to head on to the second quarter where the Gators are down 14-0. It's Bliss again, but this time he gets revenge and scores. He would also get the 2 points to make it 14-8. Now we're going to head all the way to the fourth quarter. Port Allegheny down 28-14. Brennan Philhart drops back and fires over the middle, but it is intercepted by the Marauders' Braden Riley as he takes it deep into Gator territory. That would pretty much put it on ice as BG would dominate the rest of the way, scoring twice more to take the Single A state championship 41-22. Bishop Guilfoyle ends the season 15-1 and captures their 5th state championship. Port Allegheny finishes at 14-1, but captured the District 9 championship along the way. Our reporter Trip Tagle was at yesterday's game, and we heard the conditions were a little rough out there. Can you speak on that?
Well, Cassie, we made the trek out to Mechanicsburg yesterday and definitely felt the full force of Mother Nature, but luckily we were in for a heck of a game and for a real return to the ground game of football. The Bishop Guilfoyle Marauders faced off against the Port Allegheny Gators in an icy cold Pennsylvania 1A state championship game. Despite the powerful winds and chilly weather, the scoring came on red hot as both teams piled up the stat sheet, leading to 63 points scored in the game. Not bad for a state championship matchup.
Today it was hard to do anything in 50-mile-an-hour winds, so we really leaned on our offensive line and really ran the ball well, and to score 41 points state championship running the ball, it was pretty good stuff.
The Gators came into the game with an unstoppable force in running back Aiden Bliss, ranked number 4 nationally in rushing yards and number 1 in scoring. But what happens when an unstoppable force meets an immovable object?
Just utter domination and aggression. I mean, that's what we coached all week, coming off aggressive and dominating the line of scrimmage.
The Marauders' defensive line, led by defensive tackle Joe Eckenrode, showed out all day, neutralizing Port Allegheny's rushing attack and holding the Gators to just 3 scores atop this icy tundra.
Well, today's matchup between the BG Marauders and the Port Allegheny Gators certainly reared on the colder and windier side, but BG was able to prevail off the coattails of a Torrin Consiglio 4-touchdown, 170-yard plus game.
We want to be talking about Torrin Consiglio and his run game after the game, and I thought 4 touchdowns, 170 yards, I think people are. And like I said, if we always felt like if we'd give him the ball 30 times a game, he could have some lights out numbers. And but we have such skill, we try to game plan what we can do, and today it was him.
The Marauders dominated all over the turf, with this decisive win bringing home their 5th state title in the past decade.
I couldn't be prouder of your team, and I told you before the game, today you became legends. Good job!
The win over Port Allegheny gives Bishop Guilfoyle football its 5th state championship over the past 10 years. Reporting in studio, I'm Trip Tagle.
We have a team at the 5A championship game at Cumberland Valley. That game went into overtime, and our team is working hard to bring us that story to us later in the show. Now let's take a look at some of the state championship matchups. Winner, winner, Christmas dinner, Bonner Prendy bested Lampeter Strasburg for the 4A title 40-14.
Troy pulled out the close win in just the St. Nick of time to defeat Central Clarion and earn the 2A title 25-24.
On to the Saturday matchups. Winter is coming, or should I say more title matches. Avonworth will take on Northwestern Lehigh for the 3A chip at 1 p.m.
Last but not least, Pittsburgh Central Catholic will take on St. Joseph's Prep at 7 p.m. for the 6A title.
The Bald Eagle area girls varsity basketball team opened their season Wednesday night against last year's 1A champion Bishop Guilfoyle. Halfway through the second quarter, it's Morgan Ruggery who forces the defensive steal and lobs it down the court to Stella Yeski, who then gets the assist. And now we're going to take it to 2 plays later, where we're going to see Ruggery taking the ball down the court, passing it to Amberlyn Petreka, who drives to the lane, putting it up for 2. 33-11, Bishop Guilfoyle now. Guess who? It's Ruggery again, this time finding separation to break free and put it up for 2. Just before halftime, Ruggery gets the steal off the pass and takes it all the way herself to extend the lead to 45-13. Now we're going to look right before the buzzer as Layla Stewart banks it from the point-blank range off the pass from the inbound. And Ruggery is going to grab the ball here off of a missed shot and goes up for her own put-up. The shot is no good, and she gets her own rebound, and then she gets the layup to go. Ruggery gets the pass and hits the corner 3 to make it 54-13. Bishop Guilfoyle would go on to the 64-19 win. Morgan Ruggery went on to have 23 points in the win. Bishop Guilfoyle travels to take on the Williamsburg Community Blue Pirates next. Bald Eagle travels to Bedford on Friday. Moving closer to home, tip-off sends us into action, State High versus Williamsport. Turnovers started early as McKenna Whitehurst strips it from Kamaya Moat, taking it down the court, missing, but puts it back to Sienna Wilson.
Look at that breakaway.
Now to the other Wilson, her twin, Cherie, who slaps that out of here and dumping it back to Sienna to score 2. A missed pass by Kinsley Canode added another steal for the Little Lions by Layla Martin, who lobs it to Sienna, running it up the scoreboard. The Wilsons took over tonight as another turnover. Cherie Euros around the world, laying it up. Into the fourth, Nadira Tutler lobs it to Jalen Helmrich, who gets the Millionaires going for 14 in the fourth. Same here as Zaylana Miner ships it to Tutler, bouncing it to Helmrich. Unfortunately, that was not enough as State High walked off with the 51-27 win. Tournament play will continue for both teams tomorrow for a quick turnaround.
State College boys basketball kicked off their season tonight versus the 0-1 Bishop Shanahan Eagles. Tonight, State College was looking to have a solid start to the season, while Bishop Shanahan was trying to bounce back from a loss. And here you go. Bishop Shanahan would draw first blood with this putback layup by Ryan Ambrose. State College would respond with this coast-to-coast drive by Michael Powell to tie the game. It was a physical one, as well as both teams taking lots of trips to the charity stripe. Ending the first half 25-24 Eagles with a little scuffle there. The second half was a different story when the Little Lions' Charlie Yartz activated takeover to change the momentum for the team in the third. State College wouldn't let up from there, and with Bishop Shanahan making costly turnovers late in the game, the Lions would walk away with the dub with a final score of 58-49. State College will take on Altoona on December 11th, while Bishop Shanahan will face the Westchester East Vikings on December 12th.
I'm so happy that we now get to see all of these winter sports in action, like basketball and wrestling.
Yeah, and coming up, we will preview the upcoming Big Ten championship game between Penn State and Oregon.
And we'll take a look at Penn State's big win over Purdue last night, plus some Penn State and high school wrestling. But first, let's take a look at some of the basketball scores in and out of District 6.
Welcome back to After the Whistle. 'Tis the season to be jolly, and Penn State sports are riding high and welcoming the holiday cheer.
That's right, Brian. Winter sports are in full swing, and Penn State football is gearing up for the fight of their lives.
Thanks to Ohio State losing to Michigan in the game, Penn State skied into the Big Ten championship with their dominant 44-7 win over Maryland. This will be Penn State's first Big Ten championship appearance since 2016 and their first time facing Oregon since 1995. Our reporter Brooke Casey has more.
Rivalry week has come and gone, and with it came destruction across college football. However, the combination of that chaos and Penn State's dominating win over Maryland has secured the Nittany Lions a spot in the Big Ten championship.
Just a little more, but just to be ourselves, really, everyone's excited.
The Nittany Lions will travel to Indianapolis this Saturday to face off against the undefeated #1 seed, the Oregon Ducks. A challenge that Penn State's Tony Rojas welcomes with confidence.
Quick, fast receivers, probably the fastest we played, so I just feel like that, obviously they're dangerous, but I feel like we have great corners and secondary. So
Oregon's impressive debut in the Big Ten presents a challenge late in the season for the Nittany Lions and head coach James Franklin.
You got an experienced quarterback. Their play caller does a really good job of getting people in space, and he looks very comfortable and relaxed, and because of that, he's thrown for a very high percentage.
This will mark Penn State's return to the Big Ten championship for the first time since their win over Wisconsin in 2016.
We're excited to play Oregon. Great opportunity playing the #1 team in the country. We're excited about that. That's what we control. That's what we're focused on, not focused on anything else.
Kickoff is slated for 8 p.m. Saturday, December 7th at Lucas Oil Stadium. For After the Whistle, I'm Brooke Casey.
The Penn State men's basketball team kicked off Big Ten play with a massive 81-70 upset win over 8th-ranked Purdue last night. Ace Baldwin Jr. led the Nittany Lions scoring effort with 17 points and 6 assists. In a game that at one point saw Penn State lead by 27 points, defense was key, forcing the Boilermakers to turn the ball over 24 times. As the game ended, students stormed the court to celebrate the win. And Coach Mike Rhodes told the crowd, "This is what we're gonna do." The 8-1 Nittany Lions are back in action next Tuesday when they travel to Rutgers to take on the Scarlet Knights.
In other Penn State news, your returning NCAA champs are back in action, having dominated last week's duel 41-3 versus Drexel. And now they take to the road to face off against Lehigh. Penn State will be out Aaron Nagao at the 133 weight class and has welcomed Hayden Cunningham at the 141 weight class out of State College High School.
The State College Little Lions hosted the Shikellamy Braves for their first wrestling match of the season on Wednesday. Jason Nickel, father of former Penn State wrestler Bo Nickel, is looking for his first official duel as State High's wrestling coach. Penn State commit Asher Cunningham is looking to win another state title before he goes from a Little Lion to a Nittany Lion. Cunningham wasted no time in his 172-pound match, pinning his opponent Ned Drumheller in just 11 seconds. Giving the Little Lions a 6-0 lead, the announcer couldn't even finish his sentence before Cunningham ended the match. After 2 pins and a major decision, Shikellamy took the lead 16-6. But 107-pounder and freshman Nico Diaz pinned his opponent Jacob Hendricks with 7 seconds left in the match to cut Shikelamy's lead 16-12. What a moment for him there. State College freshman came up big on Wednesday as 114-pounder Cale Davis got a pin of his own. Cale and Nico both got their first high school wins and their first high school pins. Both of those pins were enough to give State College an 18-16 lead. It was Pin City in State College as James Whitbread got in on the action and won his 145-pound match by pinning Shikelamy's Gavin Kiefer, giving State High a 33-23 lead over the Braves. State College would go on to win the match 36-27 and give the first win of the Jason Nickel era. The State College Little Lions are currently in Ohio for the Ironman tournament that started today and will end tomorrow. And the Shikellamy Braves lost today to the Montgomery Red Raiders 38-23, starting their season 0-2.
Now to the Class 5A title match featuring Bishop McDevitt out of District 3 versus Roman Catholic out of District 12. Bishop McDevitt has previously won a 4A title in 2022 before moving up to the 5A level. As for Roman Catholic, this is their first time in the state championship. Our reporter Nate Johns was at the game.
Thanks, Brian. While it may be cold here in Cumberland Valley, this game ended up being one of the hottest of the year. An 18-point comeback, a 75-yard pick six, a missed walk-off field goal attempt, overtime, and a walk-off field goal allowed Bishop McDevitt to secure their second state championship in 3 seasons. The Crusaders went on to win the game 34-31 in overtime, and let's take a look at how they did it. Both teams trying to keep warm in Cumberland Valley. We start things off late in the first quarter where Stone Saunders sets up, drops back, and launches a bomb downfield where Dominic Diaz-Ellis tracks it down for a Bishop McDevitt touchdown. And later on in the game, McDevitt moving down the field, passes intercepted. It's Lewis Gaddy, 75 yards down the sideline. No one's gonna touch him. Roman Catholic pick six, game-changing play right there. At this point, the game, it was tied 31-31. Roman Catholic with the ball, but then Keelan Smith tracks that one in the air and picks it off a huge defensive play there for Bishop McDevitt. Now with 2 seconds left in the game, Aiden Grella on to try and walk it off. Game winner, and it's short, which means we are going to overtime. And now in overtime, Roman Catholic missed their field goal. Aiden Grella to walk it off, and he has the leg of gold tonight as Bishop McDevitt walks it off.
You know, he and I met every day, watching film and chalk talking, and that's like the whole school year. And, you know, I joked when he signed on Wednesday, I joked that, you know, but it's true. I've had lunch with Stone Saunders more in the last 4 years than I have my wife.
You know, lots of nerves. It's 31-31 to win the states. I'm up there, I'm close, but lots of nerves. I'm walking back, taking my steps. My legs are shaking. All the pressure's on me, but I pulled through. Lots of encouragement from my team. You know, we're one big family.
And with the win, Stone Saunders concludes his high school career by winning 2 state championships, and next season he'll be taking his talents to the SEC with the Kentucky Wildcats. For After the Whistle, I'm Nate Johns. Back to you guys at the desk.
Now let's take a look at our top 3 plays of the week. At number 3, we have a little twin connection. It's Cherie Wilson who gets the steal for State High and passes it to her sister Sienna for the easy layup.
What a great moment for these sisters.
And right on the breakaway.
Now we're going to look at number 2. We have Hamilton Gates who gets the ball, gets to the sideline, and goes all the way for the 64-yard touchdown to the house in the state championship game. No one was ever going to catch him there.
Look at him celebrating with his teammates in the end zone. And at number 1, we have Asher Cunningham who made quick work of Ned Drumheller, pinning him in just 11 seconds. Drumheller didn't stand a chance against the Penn State commit. That's all for this week. For more coverage about our show and coverage of games, follow us on X, Instagram, and TikTok at A2WPSU. I'm Brian Portney.
And I'm Cassie Vaselis. Stay tuned for our end of the year wrap show this Friday right here on After the Whistle.